Welcome back to Serenity Valley, guys. This is episode 19, and this episode is going to be a little different. We're literally just a few minutes after we concluded episode 18. I went down and did my check of our various industries, and I found that our greenhouse had produced a pallet of raspberries. And as I was saying, I was very eager to get our dairy operations up and running. So we're recording this portion of this episode just a few minutes after we ended our recording on episode 18. We've got Morgan down finishing planting canola, and we've got Rick over plowing up field 14. And I ran over here to the BGA to pick up our telehandler because we just don't have enough money to buy a front loader or a telehandler for our industrial area. So we're going to run down here and pick up some pallet forks, and we're going to then use those forks to move our pallet of raspberries into the dairy, which should be the last thing that we need to do in order to get the dairy operating, so that we can, by hopefully tomorrow morning, next game day morning, have some dairy products to go off to market to sell. So we've got a pallet of raspberries down here, and we're just going to run over here real quick and put those in our dairy. I've already taken them off the greenhouse so that the greenhouse can get back to production. So let's take a look at our raspberries here. So here's our pallet of raspberries. You can see in the pallet consists of 20 cases of raspberries, and in each raspberry you see the individual trays in there. Very nice detailing on that. There we've got some more raspberries being made over there. So let's try to get lined up here. On our pallet. That's not too bad for a rush job. So we will pop those in there, and now we've got raspberries, we've got sugar, we've got pallets, we've got milk, and we've got cardboard. So we should have all of the raw materials we need to get this thing up and running. So we'll need to bring over some more milk as we get that, some more cardboard as we get that, and of course fruit and sugar, just to get those closer to 100%. Another cool thing about this mod that I want to show you is as you put the sugar, you'll get pallets of sugar here, and as you put in pallets of fruit, you'll get pallets of fruit will spawn over here. This is a kind of like one of those cooler curtains, but you can't go through there, but you can see we've got fruit and sugar over there. We've got forklift, little pallet jack here, and then our finished goods will spawn over here. And let's just, there we go. So we just fast forwarded just a few minutes just to get some stuff spawning. So we have yogurt, condensed milk, our kefir product, which is kind of a soured milk product, and butter. So those are the 4 products that this particular milk plant will produce. So I just wanted to document that. We will continue plowing that field 14. We will follow up and finish our sowing of field 13, or field 26. So we're gonna we'll probably buy a telehandler for up here So we're just going to leave the pallet forks here. And we will run back to the BGA with this. So also between probably at midday, we had a growth stage occur for our oilseed radish. So all of our oilseed radish is now out of the ground, so we can basically plow that under at any point in time that we wish. We will probably hold off on doing the other fields until the next game day, just to spread out the growth cycle on those fields. So field 26, which is the last, or field 13. Why did I say 26? Field 13 is the field that we are planting canola in. That'll probably be the last field that we plant this particular game day. So when we come back, some amount of time will have lapsed. I will probably have sold off a truckload of fertilizer. As you can see, we've got a fair bit amount of fertilizer down there. And we'll probably have sold off some fuel and just done some general BGA cleanup work. So we don't need to have that on camera, so we'll just do that off camera. Hey guys, so the rest of this episode is going to be a little odd. We're going to just do some odds and ends. We're finished up plowing here. Since we last met, we have finished plowing all of our fields, and this is the last field to be finished, field 15. We had Morgan working up on fields 1, 3, and 18 with the large John Deere plow. And I finished up plowing fields 15 and 16 down here, so we now have all of our fields plowed. We have also decided that we're going to put sugar beets in field 1, and we've got our New Holland T9 up there ready with our planter to put sugar beets in. Then we're going to be putting in some sunflowers in fields, the other two fields up there. What is it? Fields 2 and 18. And we're probably just going to leave fields 15, 16, and 14 dormant for a little bit. And we'll probably put, I don't know what we'll put in those yet. Fields 11 and 12 will be ready to harvest here probably in the next game day. This is going to be the last episode of this particular game day. So we're just going to finish up our plowing here. We're going to take this back to the farm. And then we're going to do some odds and ends down at our pallet factory and our cardboard factory. We'll get them stocked back up. And since we've met last, we have gotten 2 full pallets of product off of our milk plant. So we have 8 pallets of dairy goods down there at the milk plant, ready to be taken off to the sell point. And we're going to be doing a bit of selling today, just some random stuff. We need to earn some money because we need to make a kind of a impromptu sale and purchase as a result of some stuff that I found out off camera, and we'll get into that too in a little bit. Kind of not wanting to get into that because the last thing I really want to do is kind of give you all a lecture on things, but I think this is a very important topic that really just needs to be covered. I know lots of other YouTube guys are covering it last week and probably this week. I've got, come on, lower. There we go. I've kind of got a video, I've kind of recorded ahead. So I'm recording this on the May 13th, but this actually won't air until the following week. So this has probably already been covered to death, but I think it's important that everyone say it because not everyone's audience is the same. But we have to earn some money because I have a mod that I need to sell because I have not been able to track down its authentic source. And over the last few weeks, we have had a very bad rash of what lots of us are calling mod theft, or basically deliberate redistribution, unauthorized redistribution of mods. Sometimes taking and stripping out the original mod author's credits and inserting their own credits as if they did the work, or maybe they did something really funny, like they took and changed the capacity of a mod. Maybe they changed the working speed of a particular implement, and therefore they said, "Oh, that's my mod now," and stripped out all of the credits for the person that actually made the mod, and are taking full credit for producing the mod, even though all they did was open up an XML file, change two little numbers, and save everything back up, and then re-upload it as if it was their own work. And that is plagiarism, everybody. That is stealing someone else's intellectual property and pawning it off as your own. In the corporate world, that will be a serious lawsuit. In the corporate world, that will often end up in immediate termination. So these are serious topics and serious items to deal with. You can see we turned traffic back on, so we've got to be cautious on the roads with our wide tractor and our wide implements here. But what I did is earlier last week, or basically 2 weeks ago from the time this airs, I have gone in and tried to establish... Oh, this is going to be good. Oh, good. Whew. Just get by there. I tried to validate the authenticity of every link that I have in my mods file for this map, and for the most part I was able to do that for all the mods except for one. And what I mean by establish authenticity is I went in and I looked at every mod. I validated that the link that I was providing you was indeed a link back to the, as best I could tell, the mod that was originally uploaded by the actual mod author. And in some respects, the links that I were giving you was not to the original mod author's upload, but was to a different upload of the mod. So I went and did some research, and probably on maybe... I only had to do that on maybe 5 or 6 mods, and on all of them but one, I was able to track down what I feel is the authentic originating source for the mod, or at the very least a site that was uploaded by the same person, or the name of the same person that is in the mod credits. That's about the best you can do without knowing the mod author personally to know if they approved of or authorized a particular upload. So we're just going to leave our tractor and our implements here. We'll wash them up later. And we're going to take and pick up our truck here, get our flatbed, and take it down to just take it down to the BGA, because we're going to be using that here in a bit. But you know, you never know if the credits, if the name of the mod uploader is the same as the mod author, if indeed it's the same person. But you kind of got to go on faith that it is, because you know, most of these mod authors, they go by their name. You know, their name is everything. Their name is who they are. That's how you know that this is a you know, this mod is a quality mod. If you use the name of, if you know, a well-known mod author is not going to you know, change his name just for the sake of it. So there we go. So in all respects but one, I could validate that the source of the link that I was giving you all was indeed, as best I could tell, the mod author's authorized link. But in one case, I could not validate that. I've looked and looked and looked on the internet, and all I could find were uploads by generic accounts, you know, by accounts by the name admin, accounts by the name of FS17 or mod 17, or on one particular site, a particular male username has probably uploaded about half the mods that are on the site. And to the newbie, you might think, wow, this guy is really pounding out the mods. But in reality, all he's doing is going around to other mod sites, seeing mods that other people have posted, copying and pasting the description that somebody else has put on some other site, and downloading the mod from that site and uploading it to, it might be his site, it might not be his site, but basically all he's doing is scraping mod sites for mods and republishing them on another site. And that is, it's not really kosher. I mean, it's not necessarily an authorized distribution of the mod. Now, some mod authors might not care. They might be like, hey, if it gets my mod out in front of other people, then I don't really care if other people distribute it. But then other mod authors, they get pretty ticked off because they don't want to necessarily control the distribution, but they want to know that the mod is being distributed in a way that they trust. And quite frankly, let's say that the mod in question has a problem, and the mod author doesn't realize it's got a problem until after he's released it. It turns out he's got a problem. He figures out that he's got a problem, and he wants to fix that problem, so he fixes it and releases a new version. Well, what if the versions that are out there on the various mod sites never get updated? So you've got your name on a mod. Like I said earlier, your name is everything. But your name's on a mod that is now questionable in quality in people's minds. They may think twice about another mod that you've did simply because of the mod that they have that you got your name associated to it has got a problem. And they may not realize that there's been an update to the mod. So you kind of get your name soured as a result of someone else deciding to upload your work. So you can see both ways on that. But in the end, it's just not appropriate to be taking someone else's work and redistributing it without their permission. There are some mod authors that will, not really spam a bunch of sites, but will go out there and publish their mod on a bunch of different sites. And if that's what they want to do, then it's up to them. It's their work after all. But then you have guys that take a mod, edit it, remove all credits, put their own name in there, and then upload it and say, hey, look at this great mod I did. And that is flat out plagiarism. Like I said earlier, that will get you a pretty bad grade in school. It will get you fast road to unemployment in the real working world if it's ever discovered that you basically stole someone else's work. So it's not something that should be done. And sadly, it seems that certain people on the internet seem to have this idea that everything and anything on the internet is free domain and I should have full access to it, and I own everything that I can find on the internet and I can do whatever I want with it. And it's not the case. There's this thing called intellectual property, and I'm sure if these individuals are ever smart enough to actually make something that is worth their own intellectual property, that they would understand that simply taking someone else's work and repackaging it as your own work is just not appropriate. So what we're going to do down here is our pallet factories are running low on lumber, so we need to get back in our truck here. Remember, I don't know if you remember, but several episodes ago, it may have even been off camera, we cut a few more trees to restock our pallet factories, and we didn't use all of the lumber, so we've got that here. So we will, let's strap that down. So we'll restock these. Now this is the AR truck and trailer pack. This mod was actually stolen, would you believe it, from the great guys at GTX Mods that put this out originally. I found it on their site, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. So I picked it up and was messing with it, several months ago, learning how it worked. Left side, auto load. Come on, let's auto load. Strap you down. Auto load. There we go. So I was looking on the internet, and on one of the rather popular mod review channels was doing a mod review of this same pack, except it was called something completely different, and it was I never turned off auto load, right? Let's auto load this back up. So they were given a mod review or a mod showcase of this exact mod, but it was something else, named something completely different. And I remember posting on there, on YouTube, a comment basically saying, so how is this any different than the AR pack? Because they looked exactly the same. And the guy who was doing the video basically commented back. He said that he liked the mod that he was profiling better because it worked better. But I swear the thing looked the exact same. This trailer was the exact same. It had the same features. It had the exact same trailers, exact same truck. Everything was the same. And eventually the mod author, the GTX Mods guys, came on and basically said, that's pretty interesting that it would work better because it's our same mod. In fact, if you look at the credits, GTX Mods was in the credits. The mod author that stole this never even took the credits out of GTX. So, that's kind of an example of what goes on. Is someone sees something that is pretty cool, and for all intents and purposes, this mod is pretty dang cool. And they decided that since they couldn't make their own work, that they were going to take, oh, dang that auto load, they were going to take someone else's work and claim full credit for it. So before I got off on a tangent there about this mod being stolen, I wanted to say that this mod just got updated, and they added a few cool new features. Like, for example, this flatbed now has straps on it. It didn't used to have straps. So whenever I would transport using this trailer, I had to basically leave it in the work position. Alright, so let's go over here and get in this yellow truck. Because we need to stock our cardboard factory up with wood chips. And if you remember from when we talked about these particular factories, these factories produce wood chips as a byproduct. So let's load this up. So I know the last few episodes I've done have been a little longer than 30 minutes. And I'm really trying to keep them to 30 minutes. But, sometimes when I do some edits and some cuts, I don't realize how long I'm running until after I've put it together. So I say that because this particular episode, I recorded a short little clip about the greenhouses, or the greenhouse, and getting the dairy up and running. And then I came back later and recorded the rest of this episode. So again, we may run long simply because I don't remember how long that first little clip was. But I just did a how-to video that will have aired by the time and be published by the time this episode comes out. That basically profiles the updated version of this mod. We walk through and use every single attachment, We talk about the trucks, and this mod now actually has there's 2 companion mods to this truck pack and trailer pack. One of which is another reason why we're selling some stuff, is because I need to sell these trucks because I want to pick up some American style trucks to replace them, because these man trucks are nice and everything, but they I've never seen a man truck in America, and I just want, you know, American looking trucks to use on an American style map. It's not too terribly much to ask, is it? So we're going to get our wood chipper out, because we're going to put some, let's get this started. Okay, we're going to get some wood chips in here, and there we go. And we're going to sell some wood chips. We're going to use our pallet machine some today, and we're just going to randomly palletize some stuff up. Our pallet machine will also do bales, so we're going to kind of profile our pallet mod today and use it for several things, and we'll probably make a couple runs to the sell point. We have already sold we sold some fuel to get our money up from the last time that we were on, and we're going to sell some straw at the pallet point. We're going to sell some wood chips. We'll probably sell some milk, because you can palletize up some milk with that mod. So we're just going to palletize a bunch of stuff, kind of just play with it, because one, we don't really have anything else to do until next game day. We need to earn some money to make our interest payment tonight, so might as well have some fun with a mod that I know actually came from a legit source and is not stolen in any way, and is quite frankly a great mod by a great mod author, Farmer Andy. So Farmer Andy, if you know, has brought us all kinds of cool mods. He is the self-appointed, maybe not self-appointed, but he's been referred to as the godfather of mods. I'm pretty sure he's the guy behind the Cote Universal Pack, which, you know, almost should be a, you know, go-to mod. You know, nobody does, you know, you don't have a map without the Cote Universal Pack. You know, for the longest time, that's the only way you were going to be, sell milk. If you put the stop milk sale mod in and you went to sell milk, that was pretty much the only way to do it. So I've got the game extension mod on, and you've probably seen me do crazy things in the past, like move square bales just by picking them up, because I've basically turned on super strength. So I really don't need to be cutting up these logs. I could have just picked them up and tossed them in here. But you know, if it takes my mind off of the mod theft and just the despicable behavior like that, then it's worth it. But please, guys, when you download mods, please do your best effort to only get mods from sites that you know are legit, that you are confident that have not just gone around and uploaded someone else's work. If you're unsure of the official nature of the mod, then you know, check the credits, and if they list the name in the credits, then let's see, I'm going to turn this off, right? Okay, it is off. So just validate that the person that uploaded the mod is the same as the person being listed as giving credit for making the mod. If you can't figure out the credits, you know, I don't want to say download the mod and then figure out who did it and then try to find it from the right source. You know, sites like PCSG are really great sites, and my good buddy GrizzlyBearSims, who's also a YouTuber, had put out a blog post on his website. I believe it's GrizzlyBearSims.com. But he's also got the same blog post over at pcsg.uk, where basically he talks about this whole mod problem, and he lists half dozen or so mod sites that the folks over at PCSG consider fairly legit, in that they only host mods that are authorized to be hosted by the mod author. They go and test mods so that you know that you're downloading something that actually functions the way it's supposed to function. So many mods these days seem to be just uploaded, and basically they're like, this is a beta, I've got it only working halfway, but here it is. You know, it's like, I understand that you are eager to get your product out there, but wouldn't you want to put your product out there that works, versus just something out there that only halfway works? You know, the same goes with maps. You know, it seems like someone will put a map out there. This is a beta work in progress map, and over the period of like 2 weeks, you might see like 8 versions of the same map show up. You know, if you're that close, just hold it for 2 weeks and put up the final product, or put up what you think is the final product. And if you've got to make some changes, well, that's fine, because it's hard on a map to test everything. So, you know, if you've got to make tweaks, then make tweaks. But let's try to keep the number of map releases down, because, you know, I do map review videos, and I really try to not do a video of a map that I know is still in beta, simply because I don't want to profile a map and then have you all viewers watch it and say, yeah, that does look like a cool map, and download it and then discover that it's only halfway done. You know, within a day of downloading it and you start playing it, some new version comes out that fixes the problem, and you end up having to repeat all your work. So we've moved our conveyor belt system over here to our pallet creation area, and we are going to it says straw is not accepted. Alright, so we're back, and I've taken care of that little problem. Basically, I had attempted to do this earlier off camera just to test, and I ran into a problem where I couldn't. This particular conveyor is a mod, and the person that modded this went in and basically adjusted the fill types for it to accept all kinds of different things. For example, it now takes silage, forage, grass, hay, but it didn't take straw. So I just went in here and basically added straw to the acceptable fill types for that, and this is a perfect example of tweaking a mod. I didn't do anything other than basically add the word straw into 2 files and save them, and now the mod takes straw. But did I alright, so this pallet machine actually will make bales. So we're taking straw, loose straw, putting it in here, and we're going to make bales out of this. Let's take a look, and what is it? C. So let's take a look. This is making a bale of, I think, 4,000 units. You can see down there in the lower right of the informational screen. It's at 4,000, and it's going to eject the bale. We've already palletized up some fertilizer. So boom, there goes another bale, and now it's filling the bale with straw. So instead of using the conveyor over there at the Silo King, we're going to use it over here on our pallet making thing. Now this is another Farmer Andy mod, the pallet generation or the pallet creation. So way to go, Farmer Andy there. Alright, so we're gonna, while that's running, we are going to run over and pick up some milk, because I feel like just using this mod just for the heck of it. And like I said, I want to make some money because I want to sell some. I got to sell that baler. Did I say what mod it was? It's that Kloss baler. You know, pretty upset about that. I thought that was a really nice mod. I profiled it in an episode, and now I feel really bad about profiling that in an episode because I don't know. I can't figure out where it came from. I'm pretty sure the mod author is French, and I've looked at various French mod sites, and with Google Translate tried to find the mod author. I googled the mod author's name, and apparently his name means something else in French, because I was getting all kinds of other things other than him. I found a couple Facebook pages that did not seem to be related to FS17 at all, and some general other things. So after a fair bit of time, I decided that I wasn't going to hunt up, I wasn't going to find this particular mod author's original link. So we have to sell that baler, and we'll be picking up a baler that we can authenticate the I gotta back up here. We'll be buying a baler where I can authenticate. I know where the I know who the original mod author is, and I know where they put basically put the product for the mod for download. So I know we're using our slurry tank to pick up some milk, and obviously in the real world we would never mix slurry and milk, but nobody will ever know, so don't tell anybody what we've done here. Thanks. So we're just going to fill this up with probably halfway. That's good enough. And we'll run this back to actually this has a back attacher on it. We're going to pick up that baler and run it down to the shop and sell it. I could have done that off camera and just made up some story as to why we had to change out the baler, but I thought it was important to kind of go public on this stance and make a stance and say that while I love my mods, I only use mods that I can kind of authenticate came from a valid source, and or the source is where the original mod author put the mod. You know, some people have said, well, you know, if just don't go to the websites that do this activity, and it's not the website that does it. The website's just a bunch of code running on a server. It's the users of the site, or possibly the admins of the site. Now, I don't know who admins any of these mod sites to know if it's actually the admin. Now, when the upload account says admin, that's kind of a tip-off. But other than that, you know, on other sites that have other usernames that are uploading these mods that aren't their own work. You know, you don't know if it's necessarily the admin that's doing it or part of a management team. You would hope that the admin and management team are kind of aware of what mods are being uploaded, but maybe they take a stance that unless someone puts in a request to have a mod removed, they just let it work. They just let it go. But if you know, you shouldn't be punishing a mod author that wants to get their work out there for submitting their mod to a maybe less than upstanding website. Maybe the mod author doesn't know, doesn't really understand the ins and outs of this type of behavior. Maybe they don't really care if someone distributes their mod because they just want their mod out there in front of as many eyes as possible. Maybe they don't fully understand the ramifications of someone distributing the mod. Is that not in the... Alright, well, I'll get that in a minute. We're not going to waste any more time on the baler. I'll sell that later. You know, maybe they just don't understand the ramifications of someone distributing their content without their permission. But, you know, so I do frequent the sites that have this bad behavior. I'll admit that. But I try my darndest to not download a mod from a site that is a mod that is questionable. So this thing is supposed to take milk, and it's supposed to be able to just fill in. Alright, I think I got that issue straightened out. We moved our truck over here. We're going to jump on in here, and you see we have a refill, so we're going to hit R. And now you see we are filling milk. Our mod, let's turn it on. Let's enable pallet. Alright, so let's take a look. So now we are making pallets of milk jugs. You see, let's jump in our truck and look outside. So you see now our pallet machine kind of has a tank on top, and we have filled up we've emptied our milk. So we'll put our slurry tanker back now. We would just totally forget that we used a slurry tanker for milk. It's not the milk's not being packaged for human consumption. Let's just say that. Okay. So, come on, get out of our way. So we'll probably pallet up our milk. We'll make some wood chip pallets here, and I think this thing takes wood chips. Guess we'll find that out here in a minute. Let's go back over here and check out our milk pallets. So there we have our milk pallets. We've got 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. Is that right? 4. Yep, we got 11 jugs of milk in each pallet. Let's see how much milk we're getting in there. So we got 1,000 units in that pallet. Let's see if we get 2,000 units. Yep. All right. So let's go over here and load up our truck and take this load up to sell. So this might balk at loading up pallets and then bales. It might, it really might not like this. So we might not, let's put this off here to the side. X, Y, no, X, B, XB, unload. So this trailer has an interesting bug or something where it doesn't seem to unload these first two. So we're going to use our super strength to move those two. And let's go back to square bales. Work position. Let's load up these bales. Okay. Alright, while that's making pallets of milk, we're going to run these up to the sell point, the pallet sell point. And because the pallet sell point right now is offering straw for 47, which is the highest price for straw at this point. So as I was saying, we will sell that baler. Probably go ahead and sell it off camera then, since we're running a little. I think we're going to be over our time limit, our time allocation, I should say. We're not really over our time limit. I know I just pulled out in front of the car there. And we're just going to break all rules. So I put this sell point way up here to give us a reason to go up to this corner of the map, because the way this map is laid out, nearly all the sell points are to the south of the farm. There's only one sell point north of the farm, and that particular sell point is to our left. It's in the northwest. So I put the pallet sell point over here in the northeast to give us a reason to drive up here. Otherwise, there would be no reason to ever really go up here unless you had bought a field. We're just going to cut through here. So unless you have bought a field, there's pretty much no reason to ever come up here. So I just wanted to put that up here. All right, let's unload here. Work position. Unload. And where's our bales we just sold? $1,400 for what was it? 3, 6, 7 or 8 bales. Now let's run back and we will make pallets of wood chips. See what they look like. They should come out as bags, pallets with individual bags of wood chips, and we'll load up as many pallets as we can, and we'll make one more trip up here to the sell point, and then we'll close out. So as we work on our closing, I want to say that at the time I'm recording this, we currently have 191 subscribers. So I'm 9 away from 200, and I have to say that I've not been doing this too terrible long, and we're on a pretty quick road to 200. I appreciate all the subscribers. I know that a bulk of my subscribers are probably to watch the map videos. I'm not fooling myself to know that that's where most of the views come from. It's probably where most of the subscribers come from. But you know what? I don't really care. I like doing these play series. I like sharing with you all kind of my style of gameplay. I like hearing your all's comments on my style of gameplay, and it seems like some of your comments are fairly beneficial, fairly favorable, in that you enjoy watching my particular style of gameplay, and I appreciate that. What the heck happened there? Oh, you know what? As this pallet machine is pushing out pallets, it's actually moving forward. So we're going to have to X. So we need to eject this pallet of milk. It had 1,700 units of milk in it. Alright, that should reset to 0 here in a moment. There we go. And let's turn this down. So we're going to actually need to move this stuff temporarily. I like hearing about how you all play your maps different. I like to hear, I know there's at least a couple people that are playing this map in addition to me that watch the series. And I like to hear about how they have done things a little bit different. Let's go and jump in this. I wonder if we might not be able to move this thing. I know what we'll do. We'll raise it. Can we now move it? There we go. We'll wiggle it enough and we'll get it moved. Let's lower it back down. Alright, we'll get that. Do that. I'm going to jump back over here. So, speaking of my videos, I was really surprised. I saw the Big Bud video I did. Went and was over 1,000 views. So I was happy about that. And, you know, I was posted over the PCSG forums. I was posting about how I was all excited about getting 1,000 views. And while I was still posting that, I decided to sort my videos by views, and then I saw that I had 3 videos that were over 1,000 views. Let's just save this. Okay, the conveyor belt does accept wood chips. So I had 3 videos over 1,000 views, and the video that had the most views was actually the video of this map. The map impressions video of this map. And H. So let's come out of here. So here we have, there we got our wood chips. So we've got the same pallet like our milk with the metal cage, but we get individual baggies of brand striped wood chips. So that's pretty cool. Gives you another way of selling wood chips for different money. Right now we got wood chips at $376 per 1,000, I suppose. So let's see how much enter. Oops. So let's see how many units per pallet of wood chips. 3,000 units per pallet of wood chips. So, but each one of these pallets is going to net us what, close to a little over $1,000. So let's start up our truck here. Let's swing around and pick up our pallet of fertilizer, and then we'll pick up enough milk to fill our trailer. Like I said, we're just going to switch this to pallets and work position, and then let's see how many of these we can pick up. And it looks like that fills that up. And then let's do unload, and let's strap that down. Alright, so let's go sell this. We won't sell our wood chips on camera. I will sell those off camera. I will sell that baler off camera. We are going to buy, let's just see which baler we're going to buy while we're here. We're probably going to pick up the New Holland big baler, because it will have the back attachment. I really want to use this Quattro bale stacker at some point. I'm thinking about feeding our sheep grass bales as opposed to loose grass, because I really haven't gotten to play with this bale stacker yet, and this baler will let me do that. So we'll probably pick that up. We'll see how much money we got. We might pick up the bale stacker also, and we're going to switch out our truck. Let me go ahead and show you that. We're going to switch out our truck for this one. It won't be that color, but that's the style of truck we're going to have next time you all come back. So like I was saying, I appreciate all my subscribers. By the time this video airs, we may really be over 200. According to my analytics, YouTube analytics, in the last last 28 days, we're up over 100 subscribers. So that's amazing to think that in less than 2 months, we're nearly at 200 subscribers. And if you're watching this video and you're not a subscriber, please go ahead and click the subscribe button if you like what you watch. We are just starting, and it would have aired last week a Big Boys Big Toys play series that will profile the Cherry Hills map by Stevie, and will basically profile the biggest equipment I can find. We've got the Big Bud, the 747. We've got the Fendt Tri-6. Both of those tractors have over 1,000 horsepower apiece, and we've got several of the Big Bud implements in pairs of 2. And for example, in the first episode, we will be sowing a big field with 2 of the Seed Hawk sowers, or seeders, that basically have a combined working width of 51 meters between the 2 of them, and that makes pretty quick work of the that field. So that's something to look forward to. That series will probably be coming out on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. This series obviously comes out on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And then I do my map videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So that's a lot of videos. I don't know if I'll be able to keep it up. We might have to back down. Look at that milk cell. We might have to back down on some of the videos. But oh, that was pretty cool. $80,000 for that fertilizer and milk. Not a bad take. So we should definitely now have, that should be what we need for our loan payment, our interest payment. Now I need to sell about another $80,000 worth of product in order to be able to buy that baler. Well, I don't need 80,000 because we still have to sell that baler. Although that baler that we bought, the Kloss baler that we're selling, is fairly cheap. So we probably need about another $50,000 to buy that other baler. 80,000 would probably definitely get us the baler and the bale stacker. And I think those trucks that I want to swap out, we're just going to drive on the grass. I think those trucks are technically cheaper than the trucks that we currently own. So as long as we repair the trucks we own, we should be able to pretty much do a net, a flat net swap. If anything, we might actually earn a few dollars in making that exchange. So until next time, happy farming, y'all.